basically shut things out. You can go a little bit more again into that regen through the bottle, mangoes and the like. So yeah, I like this change up.
Yeah. It's just important you touch the Viper lane for the Dragon Knight, so you can avoid that.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point. That you can't really run that one into each other. All right. Well, Flick, I'm going to ask you, what do these drafts do well, and which way are you leaning?
I think for Mystique, they have a whole lot of team fight. They have a relatively great way of winning this game. They've got good push. They've got good ways of taking towers. They're strong heroes in the meta. They've got really good team fight as well. And then the side for Meteor Gaming, they've got Lifestealer, who has a relatively good matchup into all of those heroes. I think it's going to be about him having a good time. And I know Intori has a whole lot of items. I'm not 100% sold on this Viper pick. I think it might be good, but I think is kind of one of those heroes, either Feast or Fountain. So I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards Team Mystique this one.
All right, I think I will join you there, lean towards Team Mystique. I like what they got. Lots of combos, lots of nice spells. Let's see what they can do. We're going to throw it to Danog Aries for the cast. Game number 1, Team Mystique versus Meteor Gaming.
Yep. Thank you, boys. All right, here we go. Then we got game 1 of our second series. It's going to be an exciting battle between the two. We'll see how this one is breaking out in the end. We kind of heard our fellow brethren say they slightly favor Team Mystique. Are you also giving the edge to Radiant?
Well, hold on. Don't put Luke on the same level as me, all right? I'm kidding. But they just want to absolutely dump these lanes. That's the strategy from Meteor right now. And they've got really good lanes with the Viper and the Life. This is one of the best Lifestealer games I've ever seen. Can he do it on his own? Can do it on his own?
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Too bad.
It's not happening.
I'll have to make up for it. I'll do it for the both of us.
Do it.
Just imagine you having one of your delicious post-workout smoothies, you know?
Delicious. Which one were I speaking about, though? One with the 4 M's?
Yes, you were.
Sure. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this is shape up. I think a lot of it's going to come down to the lane setup, kind of like we were saying at the end of the draft. It does look like DK is hanging around mid just to make sure that they're able to scout out where the Viper is going. They will get confirmation of YRG playing mid up against zone, so we're going to start to see the DK move his way down the bottom.
I just think that Meteor is going to have damage issues. You know, you're up against 4 pretty hard to kill heroes in a Shadow Fit team, but a Phoenix, Sunray, and Living Armor, and Leech Seed, and Arena protecting seems a little challenging. And again, they've been able to get this Shadow Fit to the lane with Viper, who he's not going to be trading all that much against Viper. It's just about shoving the lane out, getting experience that way, so that you're never really in a super vulnerable position.
Yeah, feels like he's going to be able to get all the farm he would desire off Zone's Shadow Fiend. What about the other lanes then for the boys on Mystique? Do they have some favorable lane matchups here that they can also use to their advantage?
Not really, to be honest. Like, unless TZ gets in a really poor position up on the top side, he shouldn't be dying. You know, Phoenix not really known for a lot of lane harass outside that Fire Spirits, and yeah, it was gotten slightly better, lower cooldown on it, but Rubik is still doing a phenomenal job, just going a little bit more into the pass build and looking to trade harass with him. Side is kind of the same thing that we were talking about. It's basically just making it so that Nature's Prophet can't completely harass you out of lane. You're there to be the frontliner up until Mars gets into the Blink Dagger. It's going to be around this DK once he hits level 6. Uses that to get the towers and then have some counter initiation. You want Meteor Gaming to run into you very early phases before you get your own Blink Daggers.
It's an interesting read from Molasses going for the Javelin first item. Is just to kind of help out with how tanky the Dragon Knight's going to be with the Dragon Blood and the Wraith Band already picked up?
Pretty much. All this armor, then we'll try and do everything that we can to get past the armor aspect of it. And, you know, Javelin, and we're assuming it's going to go to a male, not a MKB just yet. So, it's like a fairly solid. It just helps the farming as well, right? With Nature's Prophet. A few times you like to double Wraith Band build just to get the right click a bit more strongly, but it doesn't mean that you want to do that into magic damage. damage. So means that their window is a little low though as well, right? Because you have to consider that you're going to be going up against a bunch of BKBs not too late into this game. You've got 3 great BKB buyers in the Mars and Shadow Fiend.
We just saw mid lane zone was diving the T1 R, forcing out the rotation from Tiny. They continued to chase the Shadow Fiend. I meant that the Viper missed a full wave of creeps underneath the tower, so already how we were expecting the lane to be a little bit more. Well, at least decent for Shadow Fiend is getting even better. If you take a look at the last hits, 13-2 compared to the 7-4, so it's like it's off to a pretty good start. He's going to move on over to try and refill the bottle thanks to the Benny Room as well in Dire's jungle.
Just having a think as well of what is going to go for his whether he's going to go BKB or if he's going to go the man to start, because that's really the option. Whenever I see a Train Protector, I want to see a position one that likes buying either. This game, probably the BKB, just because you're going to be coming up against a Shadow Fiend who, again, does a lot of that magic-based damage, especially mid-SF. Phoenix, you just don't want to get the extra Fiery Spirits added on to yourself. So yeah, probably the BKB is the way for him to go this time.
You use the Shadow Fiend going to do a lot of magic damage. Are you expecting him to itemize down that route, or is it just going to be early magic and then into some items to help out with his right clicks later on?
Yeah, I think it's the early magic and then stuff to help with the siege after that point. I want to see if, like, with the magic damage, I think he can go into like a Hurricane Pike pretty soon after that, just because you're going up against a Viper. Great range from that. Viper is very Shadow Fiend, actually.
Dive the tower, but the Tiny still doesn't have the top zone. He's just going to try and stand his ground in the hopes that he'll get the kill before he dies, and that's not the case. His first blood will be given over to Meteor Gaming.
Maybe Ray on the bottom lane regretting that he didn't get a point into the living armor. You know, it's not exactly a lane that you just want to push forward into, and to be honest, the Nature's Grasp isn't something with super amazing value. You know, you can just move the treants out of that. It's not like Tiny wants to stay in that lane after, so could have potentially allowed him to live long enough to get the first slot onto the Tiny, but it goes away. Yeah, I was just talking about the value of the stuffs, right? Against Sprout, against the Viper, and it's really, to me, about kiting around the Lifestealer as much as possible to make him waste that rage cooldown, as well as the BKB one gets into it.
Are you just wanting the Train Protector to go into the 4-star? Or do you feel like DQQ can even pick up his own 4-star?
Probably not. I want to see the SF Hurricane Pike to be able to provide that additional one. I think 2 is probably enough. More important that Phoenix get into some of these other items. Looks like he might be considering a Veil going into the Ring of Basilius right now. Don't hate it. I mean, again, they are very magic damage oriented, or rather spell damage oriented for the initial part until the SF starts to build to a little bit more of that high ground siege. So couldn't hurt, but after that, definitely want to see him go down a route of something like a Greaves or a Pipe.
Oh, we've already spoken a lot about the potential that Mystique have in regards to their team fight. Does it concern that Dire might not be able to match this as the game goes later and later? Is it kind of timings where Dire need to be the ones ahead and ending a little bit early?
I mean, they just be playing as much around this laning stage as possible. You know, to be fair, they got the first blood, but in terms of the last hits in the lanes, it's looking a little challenging for them. Confident this is exactly not what they drafted for, right? They wanted to be able to come out of this in a much better spot, because you consider it, right? Viper doesn't want to move around to these other lanes. He wants to sit around and farm and get into his early items. Looks like he might be going towards a mech or a Greaves for his team. It doesn't really solve the damage issue that we've been talking about, does it?
Oh, it doesn't at all, but if they can get some kills for the Viper with that item aggression, gonna move on over to level 6. Viper strike target will be the Shadow Fiend, and meanwhile, Marblue. It's a beautiful double combo out with the Avalanche. A great rotation from both supports on Meteor Gaming. Secure the double kill inside the river.
They're a little frustrated with, I'm assuming, lag. They said half before, not even Carlay. There's the Carlay coming through. Ray. Does have the 1 point in the living armor at the time, but we just saw when you get that rotation from both of the supports, it's not going to be enough. So, Nix, so not really able to do too much, and kind of feel like you're pretty safe to leave the dragon now down in this lane on his own. You're not really in a position to be able to kill the Nature's Prophet. Starts only 1,000 gold away towards finishing up that Maelstrom for. You will at least be able to get the DD rune and deny that away from Meteor though.
Just brought up the Nature's Prophet's side of aggression and to counter match up at the lane. The Dragon Knight is very, very close to the hand of Midas. Just needs a little bit of gold, and this creep should be able to find that recipe. So it looks like the A.K.A. now we're going to have that steroid to help with his acceleration this game. Of course, experience is really the main thing that he's looking for. But you can never say no to a little bit more gold.
Yeah, and look, I feel like Team Mystique are really not concerned at all if this game goes like Phoenix, one of the best Train Protector, honestly, up there as well, just because you've got that heavy piercing ultimate, level 20 high rival.
Middle tower
Might be
is
in
under
trouble.
attack.
YRG trying to TP down. The Dragon Tail will get him a little bit closer towards the tower. He's going to look to try and TP out. Will he buy inside to base the poison over time? And it looks like that will be the case. As YRG, a great movement from him, saying earlier that like the Viper is going to be a little bit more cemented inside this own mid lane, but you know, he's making some early rotation, put the pressure onto Radiant safe lane.
He made a TP for that to happen though, right? And I feel like gaming feel like it's really important to try and take out this bottom tower as quickly as possible. Again, going up against a Train Protector, having a fairly rough lane against the Dragon. But the fact that he had to use the TP for that might lend them more confidence into wanting to fully commit into this tower.
I know as soon as you saw the Viper go mid down, you were already starting to think about the potential of the Agnes Scepter. Are you happy that we're seeing Neck?
Yes, I'm happy that we're not seeing the Agnes Scepter, I'll say that much. And again, it nullifies almost completely, and you've got a bunch of cores that want to fight that are going to be getting up in your face, and if Phoenix and Train Protector are sitting right next to you for an extended period of time, they're doing it wrong. So it really just doesn't make sense at all at this game.
Yeah, we had a rough games where, can you remember the tournament? It was in, I can't remember now.
I think it was the first.
We had a run of games where the
0% getting right up.
Back and going first item sector, and it wasn't having the greatest success, right? DQQ should die the poison over time, but the one charges would be okay, and had a fairy fire for Clyde, but I know you brought up, I think, streams ago, actually, you even spoke to Snaking about the Viper Scepter, and he even said that, you know, it can work out. So I wonder if, you know, he's not going for it yet, but I wonder if we do see the nosedive as the game goes on.
Not scared, man. Like, you got to go in against some of these cores that get your best and don't go to super DK. This is not the one. After this, the regular defense is just a nice item to have on the siege, help high levels. Zeros. The strike's range is so low as well, right? Especially if they change the active, you can't have as easy a time fighting people around a lot of these spots.
Well, spent the lanes and talking to Prophet's gonna go inside the nice micro for him. Stack at the triangle. One thing that isn't really working, it's his top mod up against the Lifestealer, and the Lifestealer is really happy with a 1v1 matchup. You know you're not going to be able to shut him out of the lane, and that's a big reason why he's top of the net worth. There's just nothing the Mars can do. Maybe now he's got the arena, they could look to bring even more members to this lane to maybe not kill him the Lifestealer, but at least force him out.
Well, you'd love to know that he, I suppose he's saving a skill point, right, for either the raid or the Infest to be able to get away, but if he caught him in a state where he didn't have either of those mechanisms available for himself, I still think, though, again, you've gotten this Midas out, so you're happy for the game to extend longer and longer on Team Mystique.
What can Meteor look to do to try and set up a push down at the tower? Of course, Train Protector it really thrives on having your T1s defended, but it can have some difficulties at the early game before you get your levels. So we feel like Dire is able to utilize that weakness.
I mean, maybe a nice value power room could look to come from it. I mean, they've got a siege creep down here on the bottom side, but Ray's just able to get set up. He's almost level 6 as well, so can't really go as high. I would have loved it if Molasses was able to use the Nature's Call in the trees underneath the tower, just so that you could scout out a lot of these TP rotations in, especially during the daytime. So maybe why aren't you getting something like a haste room? Even an Invis to a lesser extent doesn't feel back for us. Probably the haste room is the one that you're hoping to wait for, make any kind of movement to not only get kills, but take the tower.
So ideal if you get that haste. Now the mechanism picked up as well, because you are ready to go. If I don't really have the team fight, the ultimates that Radiant have, you at least have this mechanism to kind of supplement some of your team fighting issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mega Knight, he's going into a Manta style of his own. I guess just wanting to be able to stand and fight easily against the Viper, I suppose. You get rid of the poison attack if the fight goes on for longer and longer, but just wanting to go down farming route. The lane's pushed out. So
it's actually really bad. I need to get the go record. Now, there's so many on this help. Keep the Shadow Fiend alive. He's got to be cautious that he sits inside the net toxin, and Zone will still pop to the damage over time, but in the end, we still Mystique. We're able to get some on the board.
Yeah, mid lane, not using anything massive outside of the overgrowth. You're going to be able to stop the towers from going down. Actually, a nice little strength on the bottom side means that it nearly got away, but no blade available. What I was talking about before that gank went off is maybe he's going to go down the route of the Mechanim step Manta style, like popularized. You just send one of those solutions up onto high ground, essentially act as a roaming team.
Radiant's bottom tower is
to
under
defend
attack.
the tower.
Radiant's structures are
Both ready.
fortified.
Due to the NJ down bottom, then that top tower will be left vulnerable to the life steals. So looks like they're going to
Radiant's
sacrifice his
bottom
towers.
tower
First one of the game going towards Meteor. They're going to look to make a play instantly. Smoke is 3. Connected. They can get another kill. Maybe they can continue the pressure onto the towers.
The old initial target would be Shadow Fiend. Feels like the one. DQ, does he have enough to be able to get away? Like it.
Full chain control from Blue. Oh, and that toss into the last second. So you can
Radiant's middle
him
tower
coming out when
is
you
under
play with the
attack.
Viper as well, and it's what we need to keep up the kill. The potential objective. Now, is this a tower that Radiant wanted to fit again? They've got their ultimates, got the Glyph as well to stall this out until Phoenix is alive, but
Radiant
bring the
structures
boys in.
are
It
fortified.
looks like they're just not starting to make the rotation.
Yeah, I think that's a big
Radiant's
mistake.
middle
This is the
tower
time
is
that
under
NJ could look to make that rotation. You've already locked the tower on the top, so you've got the arena available. Creating 5
Radiant's
seconds
middle
away,
tower
but
has
you've already
fallen.
lost all 1 towers. It's really surprising.
Coming up as well, killing spree for YRG, and all the tier 1 towers going down for Meteor Gaming. This is exactly
Dire's top
you
tower
want
is under
the
attack.
recipe to train tech to find all the tower.
I was thinking as well, like obviously the Guardian, well, you know, we're trying to find the initial pick off. It's going into Desolate and really need the game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Towers. So Desolate, look, again, this is another one of those games where it's a the live dealer. Open wound with vintage. With this live.
We're gonna continue Steve. Link up on it.
Sergeant basically just want to
Dire are scanning.
as much to be able to get off the range as possible. And
Last is the top here. In the arena. Make sure they secure the kill onto the Nature's Prophet. So that's the blink reveal. That should work out perfectly for them. Ray's going to use his time to drop some wards down. We'll continue to get the farm inside the triangle as well.
I mean, maybe just feeling like if they didn't pop that arena, they would have been able to convert this into a push in the mid lane. You can see that's where the pings are coming out from Meteor Gaming saying, you know, protect this. We know that they've had a lot of rotations around. Maybe they've dropped a bunch of vision, be able to scout us out, but they just back off. To get a little bit more value out of the Midas, perhaps, into the Manta style, the Blink Daggers. Still a little bit short on a few items here. Mystique, but they do have the Veil now, so that's a little bit of that extra damage output that they wanted.
Oh, pretty close to this blink on Tiny. It's gonna be the worst timing. This next quick wave should be able to give him enough cold. Hopefully, if he can get the catapult actually instead. Go blink down, pick the. What would we like to see the first move be from Meteor Gaming with this blink?
Still think you gotta just come to the Viper, right? You just haste already, which is unfortunate. He's the damage, right? So to be the person playing around, you know that a Nature's Prophet's able to join at any time. Just about even invest Nature's Prophet with the life dealer, so they want to get a
Should be able to do so. Need to open up. Lifesteal is able to pop out with ease and secure the kill. They're even looking for another kill across the map. Three members of Meteor playing together, so multiple kill squads out. Look like they'll run into anyone at the moment.
Yeah, why don't you
grouping up?
trying to push out the lane Phoenix.
He's going to be nearby to counter initiate. Arena's going to be laid down onto the town. He's going to the Supernova's utilized as well. And he blasts his right clicks, and once the Nature's Prophet able to enter the fight, they'll kill off the Supernova and continue to look for more. Marble is combo back up, ready to go. The Speaker will connect onto the Mars. A defensive Requiem from Zora can help cover the retreat, but Life still shows up. They'll make sure there's no way to hold him back. And again, 2 kills for Meteor, bringing a nice spell casting for them.
They used the Overgrowth as well, actually, on Ray, right before the range went off, so he was actually able to get away from that, not only dodging out the Requiem, but being able to not susceptible to a lot of these right through.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Through this game as well for the Mars. Every time he uses that spear in the arena, you got to make sure that activate that. It's not an ability you want to give over towards the
Dire's
Rubik.
top tower is under attack.
There and pushing forward. It's double damage on the bottom side. They got a siege creep.
Radiant's
Maybe a little
bottom
early on
tower
using
is under
these,
attack.
but I suppose they know that there's occasions to use already. So there's another tower going down for them. And well, I feel like maybe that. No, not yet. I feel like you probably need the
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
yeah, sorry, he had the
Radiant are scanning.
Janyasha go away. Someone
Dire's
got
top
killed by the
tower
Career.
has
They're actually
fallen.
picking it. Okay. Maybe they do.
Radiant's
the
bottom
important
tower
one.
is under attack.
The Veil wasn't used in the last fight, so I thought maybe if they use that, maybe there's hardly damage and you're able to get that
Dire's
secondary
top
appreciation
tower
coming
is under
through.
attack.
Oh, MJ,
Radiant's
nice
bottom
done,
tower
Rubik.
is under attack.
Laying down the arena, holding multiple members in place to set up the damage thanks to the Sun Ray. Aggressive members are going to go down for now. They'll look over towards the life stealer as well. They will provide them all. Maybe that's like actually in the outskirts. It will help secure the kill off to the Viper. So at the end, it won't pay off as Team Mystique will successfully defend their high ground and maybe just get a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, there's a reason that not many teams go high ground at 18.5 minutes, right? You don't have that Aegis to be able to play off. You don't have amazing sieging heroes quite yet at this stage, right? It's just profit with only a Gleep there. So if you're able to land a great Arena of Blood, which NJ was at 4.3, it means that one, you're getting 10 the whole time. You might have the creeps, but you're just stuck in the place, and a Phoenix is able to rip through all of your HP.
I mean, that is the ideal fight for Mystique, where you just have the Phoenix off to the side, getting that damage going. And you
Dire's
spoke
middle
about
tower is under
before
attack.
when Phoenix didn't use the Veil, I think in the fight kind of around the run that tier 1 to mid, and what we see different can be double Qs to get that Veil off. It's plenty of damage from seeing, because Dire was starting to put a lot of momentum with the lineup that we feel like it's going to struggle towards the later stages first ratings in a 5-man.
A much better stealing lineup that they've got here, and they're going to go for another smoke. They realize that their time is now. Not wanting to reveal their position, going too far forward, like Korea, but picked up and
Fox, they know exactly where it is. Link up to the high ground. Vision doesn't matter. Ain't read from Blue.
they know it on this top side as well. Going to back off when he sees that no one's revealed on lane just yet. He's got the spears on it as well, so it's a nice way to be able to get the wall.
have to be quick with what the BKB. It's the other play with the Requiem, taking the ultimate. We'll look for the TP out afterwards.
Thinking, I understand why they went for them. They probably would have been able to get the that spear. But yeah, maybe Roche was the option for themselves in case they wanted to go up onto that high ground run. Yeah, so next. Sorry.
Dessa will definitely help out with that Roche taking the high ground, so you just come shortly. Maybe they're kicking themselves with kicking up, just trying to force reaction. The high ground back up as soon as you see one TP. Team fight. Position. A little bit more difficult to play the map. Net worth even. But if you're at the top of net worth, this is the crit stick now being delivered on the corridor. Really cautious how much farm he's going to give over. On 10. This fight event to get the opening of Link in over the tree line, landing the arena on the 2. MechaniX can push around the right side. There's just nothing they can do. Black combo the whole one member. And he's going to be killed off to start this. Opening up the dial with all the ultimate cooldown. The life support looks like he can chase on forward for anything. It'll leave Molasses vulnerable to the Shadow Fiend right. Because in the end, it'll be 2 for 2. So not the words exchange as the carry rate does go down.
YRG was able to 1v1 the Dragon Knight as well. Obviously, he's going into that Magnum build that I was talking about before, but just even with the Manta style to be able to burst through this fight, it's very, very beefy with the Guardian Greaves and the Hood of Defiance.
They're kind of targets up.
Yeah, and I thought that maybe they would want to get a little bit more value out of the stun ray there. Obviously, you get through the second time, you just see the damage start to fall off. On the top side, he starts to run away against the Viper, and it's not something that you do, unfortunately. Oh no.
Yeah. You have meant for BKT, but I think you'll just have enough. Or you can just use the Shadow instead to escape. Yeah, quick check of the inventory, that's what it was. I think Gus actually just came out of Darwin's Courier, so...
Unfortunately.
Gus up to the Shadow Fiend, which maybe would have opened up the pit for Dire. We see, like, the likelihood... Like you said, this is probably one of the best lifestealer games you could ever opt for, and he's just farming a creep wave at the front of the T2 tower. Obviously, Dire know that they are incredibly strong, but they're just not at that time where they can take Roach.
No. I feel like they could have potentially after that previous fight that went their way, and that would have been really good, right? Because A, gets through second life, means you can farm a little bit more. It would have put the second Roach on a timer, right, to get that free Aghanim shard for yourself. Not even like he's the only one that's this is pretty neat.
Big one. Oh, the haze pop is going to be able to dodge this he's into counter initiate. All the dark are going to show up for the team fight. They'll try to play over the good caution with the supernova locked in the middle. There's going to be no escape from Molasses. That's okay, they can turn their attention over towards the room. Still here. Carry the damage source is the lifestealer, and he's showing up to the party, and he checks down on his own. Is that the only kill they're going to be able to net, though? Mark Blue Blink is still on cooldown. He's going to go for a TP out on the higher ground, and unfortunately, probably will not be fast enough to cancel that. But we really are seeing it's free and win them straight away with their two-fight ultimates. They have to scram afterwards.
They do, but I really want to commend YRG for not getting too broad mechanics in that situation. I know if I'm in that situation, A, I don't think I'm going to speed up, and B, probably pop dive creeps a lot sooner.
Attempt to try and lay down the toss, but Radiant is starting to respawn. NJ with the TP in off the left side. It's about to expire, so he's going to try and find an infest target.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This little hidey hole. Actually go to the right of this set. There were no fire. Chicky back to moves in. Get out of the tree, but grab the gimmicks the moment from Molasses. It is Tomato. Want to bring down NJ for the bulwark. But NJ will finally go down as turns his target over towards the Phoenix. The Raids has expired. The Dragon Tail holds him in, and the Lifesteal will finally be killed off. A big one for Team Mystique to find.
Not long enough, unfortunately. But
sorry, I'm sorry.
It was a really good turn out there. They just dived underneath this 2 tower. I know you have a Nature's Prophet that's able to join at any time, but it didn't really feel like they had the full complement of heroes available. Very odd movement coming through here, but again, maybe just overestimating the strength of the slide. He's got that Aghanim Shard queued up, which will of course enable him to take these next few fights a lot more effectively. And it does do that thing that you were talking about, right? It lets they win the fights early on Mystique. It becomes a whole lot more challenging for them. It's a great way to extend team fights off the back of a Viper who, again, wants long team fights.
I do want to say as well, though, that in regards to Radiant's team fight, the potential to take a little bit more drawn-out fights will get easier once they get items. They're not there just yet, which is, you know, maybe this is the Silver's Edge could help, but I don't even think that's the stage where the Terrapin is going to be able to play around with that. I think Butterfly maybe one more item, and even DK as well, but doesn't get that stage. So they're going to look to move into Roach. They do have their ultimate, so they say, yeah, this is a perfect place to take a team fight.
Bottom tower is under
They're going to go. Roach is going to enter here for the beach. Rock is picked up for the last door. Now he's going to turn his head over the wall into Shadow. He can step out to the but he will still pick up. Blast his right click, killing off Shadow Fin in a fire. They can move the rest of the cores as well. On towards a dragon event. Focus on for this road. Able look to TP, and the spear's going to cover that. Simultaneously, it also takes away the advantage. Guy come out in top, getting Roshan and multiple kills on the board.
Perplexed, honestly, that it took them that long to get inside the Roach pit. They knew it was going on. They had the scan happening. You have multiple heroes with Blink Dagger and Ray, even
Radiant's
just sitting
middle
behind it with the
tower is
force.
under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
The stealer that gives it the equivalent of it.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's
attack. Radiant's middle
Still
tower
having
has
it.
fallen.
This is a free life steal game without a doubt. What's a big reason for that is because how you're able to counter a lot of the Radiant ultimates. I'm a little bit concerned about his match with Shadowfin as the game goes on. Can we maybe see the life steal like an AC that mitigates some of the Shadowfin's damage?
Yeah, and not even just him, but also the Vipers to some extent. You're going to be able to get a Blink Spear back. I mean, seeing that the Rage is on cooldown and very wisely enough of knowing that that's really the only way that he's going to be dying anytime soon.
Still sticking around though. Was on Meteor. See if Radiant's a bit too far. Smoking the double back in. Marvel is just waiting for that opportunity. It's going to be NJ that start up instead. Doesn't really want to try and blow up the security kill. They can return towards the life, so they just don't have the capability to break him down. Is Eddie okay to stay? He's got a team of right click, but the rest of the Diamonds are not so fortunate. And now they'll turn the region over to the guy of Meteor Gaming and try and get the finishing member. Easy will just escape with his own life, but finally Team Mystique take a successful team fight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And that's why I
Dire's
wanted
middle
the Viper to go a
tower
little
has
bit more
fallen.
down this round of like survivability, right? Because we've seen them turn around fights so easily if you're able to get off that hood and pop the Greaves, but these items in the lead up the Aghanim Scepter just don't do all that much, especially around this BKB usage. You saw that Rubik got a really good steal onto the Sphere, but he couldn't use it. Everyone was BKB killing the Viper, so if you have a BKB instead, for example, on the Viper, maybe you live after all that.
Just taking a look at back that fight, honestly, I was quite surprised at how fast the Viper died. I was a little bit hesitant if that was the real he wanted to initiate on, but it looked perfect for them in the end. A.K.A was just free, right-clicking up on that high ground. That Shadowfin as well was able to do so. Big fight where they're able to get the economy to their back pocket. Zones ever so close towards the butterfly.
Not like this.
Not like this, indeed.
But, you know, even with the Rubik steal, right, it was really good positioning coming through from Phoenix, not only to get the Sunray off onto multiple heroes, but just to make sure there's not uplifted by that spear.
Is that kind of the target for Marvel? Is speak about the timing. In a position to pop the smoke. It's like he's not going to be able to just get you in the light. He'll force to reposition the Blink Cup shortly, but the Rubik and that actually goes down the river. Kind of get so just one kill. Give Radiant an opportunity to get the lane shut out. The catapult with this DK ultimate activated. This tower will not be on for the low.
Get the Manta as well. He's able to just roam around wherever he wants.
Be able to monitor that. Jeez, they're gonna get anyone out from Team Mystique to connect, and oh, you bet they will. NJ the Phoenix to dive over on the high ground. I'll give it an extra hand, extra distance. Across the map though, we see that the live stream doing a lot of damage on the bottom tower, but they start to come back.
They got a result left. They didn't even pop the clip.
The last is force stopping. Now the inside the ring. He can protect from the right clicks. They found the items. Now Team Mystique a couple of fights going that way in.
Just running back in a great offensive force. TV's just running back. He's finally going to get back to his team, but it's pretty sus that they see a creep running around randomly.
What's going on here? Well, how much is the random creep, and it's like the heroes will reveal themselves. Supernova in the middle to fuck the double speed. They deal with the Supernova, the double speed sets up perfectly for the egg to blow up. That's this game. A couple of one fights in a row for Team Mystique will net them game 1.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No, the creeps aren't in the base. No buyback. Nothing available for the MVP of this game is NJ. I think he just the high ground defense was all on the even though it was the only one Mystique hero that died. Just being able to catch the 3 heroes inside, didn't have to be